Can you see the slides? Are the slides visible? Okay, okay. All right, all right. So this was the point which we discussed in our last session, that is the institutes for entrepreneurial development. Basically, these institutes provide assistance, financial assistance in some or the other way. Sometimes it is through making the know-how available, making the infrastructure available. Sometimes it is the financial assistance which is being given by these institutes. These institutes are basically incorporated. Uh, Somewhere the state government is involved, somewhere it's a joint venture. Now in case of DIC, both as state as well as central government, they have come together, they have joined hands, and one in all states, one in each state, the DICs have been established. Moving further, some parts from third unit we have to finish. Beginning is role of mentors. Now, what role the mentors play when we are developing entrepreneurship? We have to develop this ability in people, entrepreneurial ability in people. Definitely, it requires somebody to take out this talent which is hidden in people, and people have to that the person has to work on it. Now, for example, suppose I enroll myself in one of the EDPs, entrepreneurial development program. I enroll myself, I undergo the training, and whatever weaknesses I had before enrolling for the program, the weaknesses I knew, so I enrolled, and now I see myself little confident in those areas compared to earlier one. Fine, yahan tak everything is okay, but then still it is something which I lack. I don't know where I'm lacking, and what makes me not go ahead and start actually my venture. So here the role of mentor comes into picture. We have heard about this term mentor earlier as well. So, what this mentor is, basically, mentor is somebody who gives the direction. So, it's like somebody who holds your hand whenever difficulty you face at all the steps. You feel that I am unable to climb myself. The mentor is there to help. Sometimes he acts as a consultant, sometimes he acts as your professor, sometimes he just there to guide you, sometimes he is just there to support whatever decision you are taking. Whether it is right or wrong, he is just there to support. So he is such a person. So what role exactly this mentor plays? All right. So around 92% of the entrepreneurs report that mentoring has a positive impact on the growth and survival of their business. So it's like almost 9 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs, they have said that mentoring has a positive impact on the growth and survival of the business. Whosoever is your mentor, definitely he helps you while you grow your business, or your motive is to survive in your business. Am I audible to you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. What more we can say about mentoring? Just 5 meetings with a mentor have been shown to have a considerable impact on improving growth potential. So even if you meet such a person, such a mentor, just for 5 meetings. You and the mentor just have 5 times interaction or meetings, and it shows a considerable impact on improving the growth potential. Now here we are assuming that we have met a right person who is there to guide us. Fine. So such is the importance and such is the weightage mentors have received. Now what happens, as I was saying, that I'm whatever difficulties or whatever negative points I had, I enrolled for the EDP, Entrepreneurial Development Program, and now I see that I have improved in those areas. But still, it is something that it is something because of which I am unable to go ahead and start my venture. So this is the situation now in front of an entrepreneur. What happens, the first years in the business hmm, are quite challenging. Now this is my first year. Assuming that I am yet to begin with my venture, this phase, this beginning years, the nurturing years are quite challenging, especially for those who are starting the business for the first time. I, being the first generation entrepreneur, for me, this period is quite difficult. I'm unable to arrive on conclusion in related to few of the things. So somehow this phase is quite difficult for me. A study shows that half of the new companies they have already shut down their operations immediately after their operations. Within 5 years of their operations, half of the companies, now this study is related to Finland, the statistics is related to Finland. So half of the companies within first 5 years of being into the business, they shut down their operations. Also, studies say that many companies end up going out of business because they haven't fully considered the customer demand or maybe the feasibility of their business model when they are started their operations. So it happens that many a times the calculations go wrong. You are not understanding your business thoroughly what you have began. Maybe we are unable to understand the customer demand or maybe the feasibility. Reasons are there, many such reasons are there, and the people or the companies they experience such things, maybe losses or they have to close down. Such things are happening. Such companies they often fail to make the quick adjustments to their initial business model, and reason for all these maybe we can say the drawbacks would be we lack somebody who can guide us in this situation. I am unable to take appropriate business decisions because I am new into the business. I am unable to understand the customer demand. Again, I am new to the business. So when I am new to the business, majority of the businesses are closing down. When I am new into the business, my calculations go wrong. So there is only one person we can say that who is a mentor who can guide us. So what role this mentor plays in entrepreneurial venture? Imagine a situation. Now, the situation is there in front of us. This situation will tell us need to have a proper mentor with us. Now, you imagine hiring 10 of world's best talents whose areas of expertise match perfectly with challenges and opportunities our company is dealing with. Hmm? You imagine hiring 10 best talents, world's best talents. One second. Okay. So having 10 such people who are expert in their areas, you appoint or you hire such 10 people, and then imagine a solution where you have 10 of world's best mentors who are readily available to advise you and coach you whenever you face any challenges or you come across any opportunities. Which option is more affordable or which option is more effective and will give you better results? I guess it would be the second option, because you are having 10 such people who are ready to help you out in terms of any challenges or opportunities which you face, rather than having the best talents who are only expert in their areas. Rather than having such people, if you have people who can guide you and coach you and advise you whenever you face any challenging situation or you come across any such opportunities, we'll always prefer the one who will help us out in better decision making in terms of the challenging situation as well as opportunities. So this is what mentoring is all about. All right. Now, second, why we should have mentor with us? You get an external perspective to support your decision making. The job of a mentor is to be with you or support your decisions, or whenever you require his or her help, he should be easily available. That is what the role of mentor is. So this person, this mentor, is giving you some external perspective to what decision making you are practicing. He is giving you some third party perspective. He is not somebody who is in blood relationship with you. He is not some distant relative of you. He is just a third person who will support your decision making. He will give his true opinion whenever you need. So he should be the type of person who can maintain the distance from your company, because he is an outsider. But being an outsider, he can rationally think and not emotionally. So he can rationally think, as well as whenever where there is some room for improvement, he can guide you correctly, because he is an outsider. He is not somebody who is internal to your business. If your relatives are there, out of that fear of what you will think, they may not give you their true opinion. समझ में आ रहा है? जो हमारे relatives होते हैं, suppose you have all the board of members your relatives, in case they sense something going wrong, अगर संबंध खराब नहीं करने के लिए, दे मे नॉट टेल यू द ट्रूथ. इट मे हैपन, और मे बी they don't want to disclose. ठीक है ना, it's not our company, it is ultimately his or her company. Why should I say? And you know हमारे डिसी ये रिलेशंस खराब हो जाए. सो इट मे हैपन, बट अ मेंटर, इट इज totally an outsider. He is not part of your business at all. You have chosen him to work as a mentor, so definitely he will think rationally and he will support your decision making, and he will always be in such difficult situations with you. A good mentor typically has an excellent network. This means that whenever you will find a mentor, you will likely to get to expand your own network as well, because he has network. Automatically you can enter his network and your network altogether can grow. Mentor can help you find new partners. Maybe he can give you good contacts who can help your business grow, or maybe you can connect with the relevant partners and service providers. So definitely his expertise, his contact, his network can definitely benefit you as well. Okay? So this is what the role of mentors in the entire process of entrepreneurship. Is the thing clear to us what role mentors play here? Hmm? Next point to discuss is role of consultancy organization in promoting entrepreneurs. Now, this unit is about entrepreneurship development. Now, when we are promoting entrepreneurs, this type of organization structure, consultancy organization, what role it plays in promoting the entrepreneurs? Let us understand this. The main aim of consultants are to help the enterprises through their various processes and systems and guide them through proper direction. So these consultancy organization or consultants, these are also like mentors. They are helping us out. They are guiding whenever the help is required, wherever the help is required. Fine. So main aim is to help the enterprise through various processes and systems and guide them through proper direction. In case, for example, you want to implement something. Let's say you want to implement some softwares which will help you or which will protect you from cyber crimes. So you want to go for such softwares which will help the attack of these, basically cyber attacks will be prevented. Now you being a person from let's say development side, or let's say you being a person altogether from different domain, you are not much aware about the cyber attacks, how the security softwares work, how to implement them, which is the better one, which is cost effective, what kind of support will be provided. So you are totally unaware. So what will we do? We'll take help of such consultancy organization, or rather consultants. Consultants helps in facilitating the business of entrepreneurs with assisting them through evaluating the marketing scenario and looking for better opportunities. So क्या करते हैं consultant? They help in facilitating the business of entrepreneurs with assisting them through evaluating the marketing scenario. Imagine this current situation where I want to go for the security softwares which will prevent cyber attacks. So this is the scenario which I put in front of these consultants. Are you understanding? This is the scenario which I put in front of these consultants, and I give them a brief about what my exact requirements are. The consultants analyze my requirement. Since they are consultants, they have the options available with them. They have the contacts, and accordingly they have the options available. So they can help me out in choosing the better option. They can look for better opportunities for me as well. Consultants advise the entrepreneurs regarding effective utilization of resources and highlighting the opportunities and benefits for the organizations through study of the market. So, consultants, if I have to summarize what role they play, is like wherever you can't think, in those areas where you can't think, in those areas where your expertise is not there, you lack expertise, consultants are there to help us out. Another example would be, let's say you have set up your business, but managing finance is something you are really quite poor at. नहीं है, हमारा एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है फाइनेंस में. तो ये क्रेडिट, डेटर्स, क्रेडिटर्स, पैसे आना, सब बिल्स का हिसाब रखना, मेकिंग पेमेंट्स और टाइमली पेमेंट्स, all these things you are simply unable to understand. Now, when the operations are at lesser pace, छोटे पैमाने पे जब operations होते हैं, still you can manage it on your own. But when the operations grow, when your business grows, when the complexity of the businesses increase, that time you need to go for some specialized softwares. You need to go for the specialized people who can do this job for you. So consultants here help us out by highlighting how to effectively utilize the resources, how, what things to implement, how to go for making the process automated, or handling the finance department by so and so person, going for automation, going for some specialized softwares, so they can advise you on these fronts. Because They can study the market and they have their expertise in the relevant field. These consultants guide entrepreneurs through their findings and information with bringing in the required changes in the process for improvement of the enterprise. That is what their expertise lies into. They guide the entrepreneurs by finding through their findings and information. So, this can bring in the required change in the process. Consultants also help with identifying important training programs and technologies for benefiting the entrepreneurs. So it's like you are outsourcing your, or let's say whenever you face difficulty or wherever you are unable to make appropriate decision, uh, when your venture is functioning, you are unable to take appropriate decisions. Maybe this could be because you lack expertise in that area, or you have lesser knowledge about a particular field. So what can I do? I can outsource the activity, or I can take help of some outsider, and that outsider is nothing but consultancy organizations. Understanding? So this is what the role of consultancy organization is. Now we have something in front of us: problems and difficulties of entrepreneurs. Now, what problems and difficulties an entrepreneur faces? Now, if we have to list down the difficulties and problems, lot of such problems the entrepreneur faces. Like, um, it becomes difficult for him to follow the marketing techniques which are quite result and consumer oriented. Suppose I am a person, let's say I am an entrepreneur who in my 40s, or let's say who in my late 40s or early 50s have started my entrepreneurial venture. Now, being a person of 51 years old, or let's say 53 years old, even though I am aware about many things, but I don't know how the marketing techniques work. What is the, how can I effectively use data science techniques for growing my business? How this consumer mentality I can find and appropriate decisions I can take. Due to my age and due to not having enough experience in this field, I may lack, or I am not aware about these recent developments. So this could be a challenge in front of me. I may face a difficulty in case I don't have the required knowledge. Are you understanding? समझ में आ रहा है? So these problems and difficulties, we are going to see generally what an entrepreneur faces. फिर डिटेल में ये जो 5 पॉइंट्स जो लिखे हैं: चैलेंजेस ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन, मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट करना, चेंजिंग वर्कफोर्स, और जो भी बाकी के दो है वो हम लोग देखेंगे. ठीक है? आर यू विथ मी?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, along with having lesser knowledge in case of recent developments in the field of marketing, another challenging situation in front of an entrepreneur would be uh, surviving in the era of globalization. अगेन यही हम केस लेते हैं, जो कि बंदा है 50, 51, 53 years ओल्ड, या मानो 45 to 50 years के एज का है. नाउ दिस पर्सन हैज सीन how the scenario has changed since 2000, 1995 2000, कैसे कैसे डेवलपमेंट्स, ग्लोबलाइजेशन हुआ, देन the computerization also happened in maximum places. So he has seen this transition, we can say. But still it is very difficult for him to understand, tackle and survive in this area of globalization. Kyunki when I am working for somebody, let's say when I was working, I just have to follow orders, that's it. But when I'm starting my own venture, there I have to go for decision making also on my own. So there is a difference in following the orders and giving the orders. So such person, for him challenge would be surviving in such area, in this era of globalization? या अभी ग्लोबलाइजेशन से भी सर्वाइवल किस में होगा? दिस current scenario where we have Alexa and these machine learning and such technology which we are being surrounded with. So each and every minute movement of ours is also being monitored by these machines, and they are being captured. The movement, where you are spending, where you are eating, whom you are meeting, where you have gone for shopping, all these minute movements of yours are also being captured, and accordingly information is being provided to you. It's very difficult to cope up with this changing situation. Also, challenge in front of entrepreneurs would be replacing the outdated technology with modern technology. This is what it is. Now, I'm a traditional person who believes that let's have a physical shop or let's have a physical outlet through which we would be selling maximum. Now, what is the scenario? We have online as well as offline platform. So more online, lesser offline. Of course, it depends on what type of business or products or services you are dealing with. Obviously, but then online presence is, or rather, online presence matter a lot nowadays. Even if you cannot be uh, even if you cannot have your shop or maybe your store online, but maybe through your Facebook page or maybe through your Insta page you can publicize and you can gather a lot of traffic, and this can be a good way to publicize about your business. But then this, replacing this technology with new one and tackling this becomes a challenging situation for an entrepreneur. Let us see now these difficulties and problems the entrepreneur faces. Now, though it's a little bit outdated point to discuss, that is challenges of globalization, but still to some extent, yes, this challenge is still there in front of entrepreneurs. Few years back, the Indian entrepreneurs, they had to fight with regional competition and national competition. Let's say if I am an entrepreneur having a small manufacturing unit in remote area of Maharashtra, for me the competitors were from rural areas itself, competitors from other states, and competitors from altogether uh, other states only, but maybe those states are at a far away located place from my place. So national level पे मुझे competition होता था as well as regional level पे. Some manufacturers would be from south, I am from north, another would be from west, another would be from east करके. So national and regional competition was there. Now the scenario has changed and it has become more complex than it was earlier. Now I have to fight with all the economies at world level. At globally now my competition is with. So the manufacturer would be from altogether from different part of the world. If I am representing, let's say I am from Southeast Asia, maybe the another, I mean my biggest competitor would be from Canada, North Canada, South Canada, like that. So geography doesn't mind nowadays. There is no boundary in terms of geography, but there is a fierce competition, and this is the biggest challenge globalization has given to us. The world is a market, and now you have to fight with each and everyone who is competing in this market. So, in this scenario, in this competitive scenario, the Indian entrepreneurs, they have to compete with well-established giant foreign companies who are using world-class technologies for manufacturing. These companies are getting, world class assistance also from their economies for production, and we are fighting, or rather we are competing with these giant companies. Then adopting modern technology. Another difficulty in front of entrepreneurs is making use or adopting to the modern technology. Now, as each day passes, technology and science are coming up with some newer versions, some newer updates are happening. So पहले ये अपडेशन या फिर ये नई नई चीजें मार्केट में आने का रेट वॉज स्लोअर. Once in a year, once in 5 years, like that we used to come, these technology used to get updated. अभी calculators से मतलब typewriters से calculators, then from calculators से room size computer, and from room size computer to smartphone. ये जर्नी काफी लंबा रहा है. बट रूम साइज कंप्यूटर, देन यू हैव डेस्कटॉप, डेस्कटॉप से लैपटॉप, लैपटॉप से palm top, and now we have smartphones equipped with almost everything like your laptop. ये जो रेट था ये काफी फास्ट था. हियर द ड्यूरेशन वाज क्वाइट लेसर कंपेयर टू जो पहले हमने देखा था. सो मीनिंग टेक्नोलॉजी एंड साइंस आर डेवलपिंग रैपिडली. दिस ऑल्सो स्पीड्स अप द प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. क्योंकि जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी आर रैपिडली डेवलपिंग, दिस डेवलपमेंट इज हैपनिंग इन ऑल द फील्ड्स. ऐसे नहीं है that only technology in case of automobiles is getting developed fast. Technology in terms of vaccines, we have seen how rapidly it has grown. Earlier people used to say it used to take some years time, maybe 5 years, 10 years to develop one vaccine. Now we have seen within a year's time we have a vaccine, we have got two shots of those vaccines also. So this is basically speeding up of process of technology and production. So it is always better to replace the outdated technology with the new technology. ओल्ड मशीन्स को रिप्लेस करना मॉडर्न मशीन से, बट इट्स अ चैलेंज बिफोर इंडियन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, क्योंकि ही फेसेस समथिंग कॉल्ड एज फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स. फाइनेंस इज ऑलवेज समथिंग विच इज क्वाइट टाइट, एंड जिसपे लूज हैंड होना पॉसिबल नहीं है इन केस ऑफ इंडियन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. आर यू गेटिंग इट? समझ में आ रहा है हमको? So modern technology adopt karna, why it is a challenge in front of Indian entrepreneurs? Because this comes with huge cost. So Indian entrepreneur must try to maintain balance between the old and the new technology. Even if he has to go for new technology, he has to find way how I can go also for new technology, and at the same time that money thing is also being kept in his mind. Another challenge and difficulty Indian entrepreneur faces is in case of changing workforce. Sorry, changing workforce. क्या हो रहा है इन recent decade, अभी अभी की recent development में Indian workforce has undergone a remarkable change. Lot of changes, dramatic and drastic changes have taken in case of Indian workforce. Now, statistics show that dominance of men in workforce is shrinking day by day. This is what statistics tell. Hmm? Now, a new breed, let's say the new generation of highly educated Indian women, they have entered the workforce in India. If you see, at least urban areas, mein, if you see that the women are not only graduate, they have postgraduate, and they are pursuing, they don't want to sit at home and take care of their family. Along with taking care of family, even they want to utilize their education and the money their parents have invested in them. The urban women have this mentality of earning their own livelihood. This is what the statistics tell us. So, breaking all the traditional barriers, social barriers, we see now women leading in all the places. You take any industry and you will find ample women present in those industries. It is very common now to see a lady professional working in corporate office, a police, police women would be there, cyber security expert would be there, IS officers, again numbers are increasing, women passing out as IS officers, that number is also increasing. So presence of women is everywhere, and it has brought a new challenge before Indian entrepreneurs. How? When we have this changing workforce, it is also coming with some challenges. So we need to think about their safety, we need to think about the working hours which are there. So since the workforce is changing, the employers also have to think from this new, or let's say changed workforce's point of view, because this workforce is definitely talented, hardworking, and always giving best to the organizations. Loyalty is also there, but ultimately this scenario is changing, and that is again a challenge in front of entrepreneur, Indian entrepreneur. Marketing a big challenge. Important point. Marketing a big challenge. Big challenge. Companies, they have formulated new techniques to market their products and services. As companies are coming up with newer techniques, the same technique, or let's say that same thing gets into, that challenge here of marketing newer products and services to new, in an innovative way. This challenge gets converted into pressure for salesmen. So as I find more and more ways to meet my customer expectations and requirements, this becomes a challenging situation. It becomes a highly pressurizing thing for my salesmen. Nowadays, even children are being targeted in many advertisements. So kids, compel their parents to buy products. Advertising is done to propagate the marketing message, and through various media like television, newspaper, I am using internet, and uh, this way I am advertising my products. So we have to be, you know as a marketer, let's say as an entrepreneur, if you have to go for such intense marketing activities, then you have to select an efficient and experienced marketing team who is always on their toes and running behind, grabbing the opportunities, which is quite pressurizing and quite tiresome thing. Tiresome, थक्का देने वाली बात है. That is why, in today's scenario, marketing is a big challenge. Another important factor is managing finance, managing the finance of the business. Yes, finance is lifeblood of business. Without money, even though I have a world class idea, I cannot survive. So, this finance can either make the business or it can break. Without sufficient finance, that is, insufficient balance will definitely break it. And enough, एम्पल नहीं बोल सकते, जितनी ज़रूरत है उतना पैसा, if it is being supplied from time to time, definitely it will flourish, it will help our business flourish. So both undercapitalization and overcapitalization are quite harmful for the business. And here lies the skill of the entrepreneur to टैकल दिस सिचुएशन, कि बहुत ज़्यादा भी ना हो या बिल्कुल कम भी ना हो जाए. अंडर कैपिटलाइजेशन एंड ओवर कैपिटलाइजेशन, ही हैज़ टू strike a balance between these two conditions. He must manage, the entrepreneur must manage both the fixed capital as well as the working capital. He must borrow money from a right source. He must manage his cash flow, must invest his excess funds correctly, so that, meaning the money rolling should be properly done. There has to be enough reserves and surpluses also. He has to provide enough depreciation for his fixed assets so that he can replace them as they become old and outdated. So all these are actually the strategic decisions which eat lot of our money. Uh, that is why they are strategic decisions which the entrepreneur has to carefully take. That is why managing the finance of the business is quite important. Fine. Are these problems and difficulties faced by an entrepreneur clear to us? The difficulties and problems are quite simple in nature, day to day activity वाले ही है. Only thing is we have to remember कि कहाँ कहाँ से problems आ सकते हैं. So problems, challenges of globalization, modern technology, changing changing workforce, managing finance, marketing. सो देखेंगे तो हर स्पेशलाइजेशन के, मार्केटिंग के प्रॉब्लम्स है, फाइनेंस के प्रॉब्लम्स है, ऑपरेशंस के है, changing workforce, that comes under the purview of HR domain. So सभी के प्रॉब्लम्स इकट्ठा होके एंटरप्रेन्योर के सामने आ जाते हैं. ऑल राइट, शैल वी मूव अहेड, आगे चले. Simple point to discuss,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that is, yes, simple point to discuss, and that is women entrepreneurship. Very simple. Now, what is this women entrepreneurs? Huh? Let us see some facts and figures. About 50% of the world population is women population. Women constitute nearly 50% of world's population. Traditional society, क्या होता था? They were confined to performing household activities. Today's scenario, they have moved out of their house and they are taking part in all areas of life. Women empowerment, we can see. Today, entrepreneurial world is also open to we women. Abhi statistics tell Thailand tops the list with 18.5% of women as entrepreneurs, followed by India, which is 14.1%, 14.1% women entrepreneurs. Japan has the lowest rate of women entrepreneurs with just 0.6% women as entrepreneurs. Thailand has maximum 18.5, 18.5. India lesser than that, but at least we are second in this rank, 14.1. Japan as lowest as not even 1%, 0.6% women only as entrepreneurs. So this is what is statistics about women entrepreneurs. So what is this concept of women entrepreneurship? Hmm? So women entrepreneur may be defined as a women or a group of women, a single or a group of women who initiate, organize, and operate a business enterprise. So maybe there could be a single lady who is who has initiated, who is organizing, and who is operating a business enterprise, or there could be a group of women. एक या एक से ज्यादा, दो तीन पाँच दस women come together and then they carry out this activity. This is called as women entrepreneurship. Very simple definition. Now, what government of India has defined women entrepreneurship as? An enterprise owned and controlled by women having minimum financial interest of 51% of the capital and giving at least 51% of the employment generated in the enterprise to women. अभी ये डेफिनेशन सिंपल भी है, याद रखने के लिए दो ही चीज है. कॉमन फैक्टर इज 51%. अभी 51% क्या? एक तो फाइनेंशियल इंटरेस्ट ऑफ 51% ऑफ द कैपिटल किसने? ओन एंड कंट्रोल्ड बाय विमेन. सो द विमेन हैज टू contribute 51% of the total capital requirement has to be fulfilled by women. मानो अगर 100 रुपए बिजनेस में लगे हैं तो 51% अगर मैं ओन करती हूँ, मेरे लगे हुए हैं इसमें, एंड जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट ये बिजनेस से जनरेट होती है, दैट टू इज बीइंग ऑफर्ड टू विमेन एम्प्लॉयज. कितने रेशियो है? 51%. मतलब हाफ से भी ज्यादा विमेन अगर मैं रखती हूँ मेरे यहाँ काम पर, देन आई कैन बी कॉल्ड एज अ विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर. सिंपल डेफिनेशन टू रिमेंबर. पैसे मेरे कितने लगने चाहिए? शुड बी मोर देन 51%. एंड जो मैं एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट कर रही हूँ मेरे बिजनेस से टू दी विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, दैट नंबर शुड ऑल्सो बी मोर देन 51%. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? Kerala government defined women industrial unit as unit owned and organized by women, engages in small scale and cottage industries with not less than 80% of total workers as women. अभी केरला का थोड़ा डेफिनेशन केरला गवर्नमेंट हैज डिफाइंड वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स लिटिल डिफरेंटली. ठीक है. दिस क्या बोलते हैं 80% owned and organized by women and engages in small scale and cottage industries with not less than 80% of the total workers as women. So what we have to remember here is that contribution should be more than 51% and employment given to women should also be more than 51%. Fine. Now this is what is a how we define women as women entrepreneur. Now, what problems these women entrepreneurs basically face? Hmm? So, biggest problem women entrepreneur faces is that she is a woman. That is her biggest problem. They face two sets of problems specifically to women entrepreneurs. That is, first is shortage of finance. I mean, besides being a woman, she also faces other problems. So those problems are pertaining to shortages of finance. उनको फाइनेंस कम पड़ता है या फाइनेंस कम अवेलेबल किया जाता है. They always suffer from inadequate fixed and working capital. Women and small entrepreneurs, they are always suffering from inadequate फिक्स्ड एंड वर्किंग कैपिटल. दोनों जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है फिक्स्ड कैपिटल की एज वेल एज वर्किंग कैपिटल की, दैट इज ऑलवेज inadequate in nature. Also, owing to lack of confidence in women's ability, male members in the family, they do not like to risk their capital in ventures which are being run by women. So, this is usually the mentality of Indian families that they have lesser faith in women in terms of how they will manage with the finances, how they will recover the money which is being invested. They have lesser faith in these. So, because of having this less lack of confidence in their abilities, the male members of the family, they usually do not like to take risk in terms of the ventures, capital in ventures run by women. Even banks have taken negative attitude towards lending money to women entrepreneurs. Though we have schemes, but still there is this skepticism in terms of attitude um, shown towards women that कैसे मैनेज करेंगे कैसे करेंगे करके. They have the banks also show little negative attitude towards giving away the money to women entrepreneurs. So they rely often, women entrepreneurs most of the times they rely on personal savings and loans from family and friends. They have to be dependent on their own savings. और मेरा खुद का जो पैसा है उस पे या फिर borrowing from family and friends. So this is one we can say problem women entrepreneur faces. Shortage of raw material. They also find it difficult to procure material and other inputs since the prices of the material raw material are also quite high, and as it is finance कम available होता ही है, similarly making that finance available for purchasing raw material is always they face this shortage, कमी पड़ जाता है. Also inadequate marketing facilities. Most of these women entrepreneurs depend on intermediaries for marketing their products. They may not have the skills necessary to market their product. So it is very difficult for women entrepreneurs to explore the market and make their products popular. So it's like vicious circle. No, ये नहीं आ रहा है इसलिए I am unable to progress, and I am unable to progress, so I am unable to generate money out of it, and in this way people have this belief that we can't do anything. So it's a vicious circle. क्या बोलते हैं उसको चक्रव्यूह जैसा. Then there is keen competition. Another problem women entrepreneurs face is keen competition. They face tough competition from male counterparts and also from the organized industry. They cannot afford to spend large sums of money in terms of advertisements and all. So they have to face cutthroat competition from their male counterparts as well as from the persons who are already established in the market. High cost of production, high prices of material, and underutilization of capacity, all these things account for high cost of production. एक तो मटेरियल कॉस्टली होता है, आई हैव lesser finance available for to utilize whatever expertise I have. पैसे वैसे भी कम होते हैं. Government subsidies and assistance, it's not sufficient for the survival. इनके साथ साथ family responsibilities are also there. Management of family may be more complicated than management of the business. So it is difficult, quite difficult for women entrepreneur to have complete involvement in her business. So occupational backgrounds of the family, educational level of her spouse, husband, it has a direct impact on development of women entrepreneurship. So family responsibilities are also something which makes it difficult for a woman to become an entrepreneur. Also, low mobility. One of the biggest inability in case of women entrepreneur is traveling from one place to another for business purpose. Many a times it is not allowed. Many a times it has got some restrictions, and it makes it difficult. So low mobility. यहाँ से वहाँ movement होना. Sometimes for getting some permissions, maybe to sometimes it is to get some license, or maybe she has to meet at times the labor officials or sales tax officials. So ये सब manage करना is little difficult for her. Another difficulty is lack of education. 60% of the women are still illiterate in India. Illiteracy is quite high in case of this sector. As I said, urban women, different scenario, rural, different scenario. Because we have this feeling in case of women education ki they are being considered secondary and more preference is given to a male child, usually in rural areas compared to दो छोटे बच्चे हैं लड़का एंड लड़की तो यूजुअली अभी सिनारियो इज चेंजिंग बट मोर और लेस थोड़े बहुत रेट में दिस इज व्हाट इज बीइंग ऑब्जर्व्ड. Social attitude. Women do not get equal treatment in male dominated society. Wherever she goes, discrimination face hota hai. Male ego stands in the way of success of women entrepreneurs. So this rigid social attitude, it prevents women from becoming a successful entrepreneur. Then there are other factors like lack of training, lack of information. Such factors are definitely there, which actually create problem in case of women entrepreneurs. So such are the challenges and problems the women entrepreneurs face. So what could be the remedies to solve the problems faced by women entrepreneurs? They should be encouraged and assisted to set up cooperatives with view to eliminate middlemen. So we have self-help group. In case of women, SSG बोलते हैं उसको, self-help group. Self-help group really give this assistance to women entrepreneurs. They come together, they form their own cooperative, and through that cooperative the capital is being generated. जो भी financial requirement होती है, through that self help group they get financial assistance, and the self help group also promote the women entrepreneurship बहुत सारे ways से. These self help group, through these self help group you can promote your products, you can sell and carry out your activities, lot of activities. Another remedy to solve the problems faced by women entrepreneur in case of raw material is the scarce and the imported raw materials may be made available to women entrepreneurs on priority basis. In case it is being found that the lady is dealing with such items, scarce and imported ones, then those should be made available to her on priority basis. Steps may be taken to make family members aware about the potential of girls and their role in the society. So little awareness creation has to be done. Lot of problems will get solved because of this awareness creation. In rural areas, self employment opportunities should be developed for helping women. Then, marketing facilities should be provided to these working women, or let's say entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. So this is some part of women entrepreneurship, the difficulties and problems which we have seen. Next point to discuss is mobility of entrepreneurs. Now, what is this mobility of entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurial mobility is defined as the movement of entrepreneurs from one context to another. So basically, mobility is you moving from one context to another. यहाँ से वहाँ हमारा, not physical, but this mobility can be explained in four aspects. There is temporal mobility, life cycle of the enterprise. You remember product life cycle? Introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So this is what is the mobility. Let's say if you are in the introductory phase of your business, when you want to pass from this introductory phase to the growth phase, this is called as entrepreneurial mobility, temporal mobility. यहाँ से वहां जा रहे हैं ना, एक फेज से दूसरे फेज में जा रहे हैं. So this is called as temporal mobility. Institutional, government policy, legal system, norms and values. When you take help from government, हाँ, जो assistance तुम्हें मिलना है उसके लिए whatever your movement is, that is called as your institutional mobility. Social, social networks. So maybe you are a member of, let's say, FICI. You are also member of any other group, तुम्हारे एरिया में जो एक्टिव है या फिर तुम्हारे लोकेलिटी में विच इज एक्टिव, which is talking about budding entrepreneurs. So this is your social mobility. And spatial, that is geographical. If you were probably you were first started your operations in rural area, and from that area now you are moving to altogether a different zone. Hmm? So that is called your geographic mobility. The context, therefore, is an element that indicates areas where entrepreneurial mobility is taking place. So it's not only about moving from one place to another. This mobility can take place in these four forms: temporal, institutional, social, and spatial. So, movement in all these areas is considered as entrepreneurial mobility. Okay? All right, we'll stop our today's discussion here and we'll continue the remaining part from third unit. We'll continue in the next session, and then we'll begin to the we'll begin studying fourth unit from next session itself. All right, so let's stop our today's session here itself, and I'll see you next time. In case you have any difficulty, please let me know. I hope you like this session. Any doubt, please let me know. Fine. So we'll stop here. Good day, not good day, good night, and enjoy your days, and please take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
ma'am.
so
Thank you,
Good
much.
ma'am.
night.
Thank you so much. Good night.